question has come up on the tragedy that took place yesterday in Australia of a father committing suicide after killing his 2 young sons. So there are 2 questions. One is, what are the reasons for a person to be driven to such a situation? And the next one is, why do we feel sad when we hear of such bad experiences of other people that we don't even know of?
Mehemai, this is the thing now. It hit you because it connected as one of our people, Sri Lankan. It came closer to you. I, me, myself, my people, mine kiana. It got closer. It was in the close region where you felt another Sri Lankan, no, one of us, my people. This is happening everywhere in the world. Highest cause of death still is suicide. So it's a big problem. You only really feel it when it happens within that closer range to you. Then only it really hits. And you kind of feel very helpless. But this is a real problem. So today people have tried many ways to find happiness. And we are using these senses and try to please the senses as much as we can, and we try to find happiness through that. And it's a futile effort. You don't get happiness through that, you only get stress. So you are not happy, you are unhappy, and your unhappiness increases. With the frustration, it only keeps increasing. So that's when it comes a time where you think, what's the point living like this? Because that unhappiness will manifest in your body as well. So physically you are uncomfortable, stressed, and mentally also you are very disturbed and unhappy, stressed. So that's when you come to a point, breaking point, where no longer you don't see any light, you don't see any point living, because you're not peaceful, you're not happy. It's such a disturbance. So this is why it's so important to understand how to find real, proper, good quality happiness, how to live a happy life. As long as we don't get to that, we can't stop, because this is the nature, this is how it will take place. So with this unhappy mind, we also have this bad trait where we look into everything, we look into the negative side of things. Fault finding. I hope in this group we read that Jati Jara Marana Sutra that was on Anguttara Nikaya, and I read that Buddha was talking about the fault finding is not good. Do you remember? Was it this group that we kept on looking for that sutra?
Yes, Bhikkhuni.
Did you find it?
I kept looking after that.
So anyway, in that sutta, it's in this book. If someone can find a PDF of this book, Numerical Discourses of the Buddha by Jnanaponika Thera and Bhikkhu Bodhi. And it was on the chapter of 10, I think, from my memory. But anyway, so what Buddha is pointing is this negativity. The mind oozing with negativity. One of the symptoms is when that is happening, how you know is you see negative things everywhere. You find faults everywhere. So that will increase the suffering, because everywhere you see some fault, everywhere you see some problem, everywhere you talk to something, and it will increase your unhappiness and stress. So this is why it's important for us to learn to see things positively, think positively, in that wholesome way. For the Buddhists, where the positive means a wholesome thinking. So it's very important that we learn to not to look into the negativity, but look into the wholesome or the positive. So when these things happen, don't get engrossed with them, because our mind is now has that taste. It has the inclination for the bad taste, for the negative news. It has this tendency to indulge in them. This is the nature in the mind. So you need to cut it off. This is why people sell this type of news. If you take a newspaper, the TV, whatever this media, how they thrive is by selling negative news. Why? Because the minds are inclined towards that, and they find enjoyment in that. Now, if you remember that from what Dick Hansen showed you about the brain and the neuroscience and all that, he said clearly that there is different pathways in the brain that creates happiness. One was that indulging in the sensual pleasures and with the ill thoughts, with hatred, with cruelty. And we indulge in that. When we hear those things, it activates those certain parts, and we find kind of a, it's interesting to us. I won't call that you find happiness, but it takes the attention. The brain likes to, keep on chewing on it. If something had a distaste, and if we didn't like it, if we felt that it is bringing suffering, we will not chew on it. But why we keep on go on and on and on about it? Because the brain finds it fascinating. Why? Because it has pathways that enjoy, that brings joy from that. This is why we have to learn to cut it off. So when you hear these things, you see, you take the lesson. This is what's happening, why it's happening, because there is this problem. We are going in the wrong direction for looking for happiness, and when we are tired and exhausted, when we don't get the happiness by pursuing that path, this is where we will end up. And it can happen to me tomorrow as well. Now I have few people, including one monk, who keeps saying, "Ayo, marenna hitila tiyenne, marenna hitila tiyenne, marenna hondai." Like that, they keep on saying. So one day, when these people keep on saying, one day there is a chance they might do it. So it's very difficult to change their mind. We can help to show them the positive side, this, that, and the other. But if they don't change their attitude, if they don't see the deeper meaning in life, if they don't engage in meaningful things, if they don't develop the good human qualities, wisdom, you can't put a chain to their leg and then tie them to a post and protect them. Or you have to have the police in every house now guarding. You can't do that. So this is about our poor mental health. We are not taking care of our mental health. We are not taking care of happiness, because we are not happy and we are unhappy. So much unhappiness is oozing out. This is what happens. So we need to learn to find happiness in the proper way. And one of the things that hinders that is this fault finding. So I'm sure if you go into that story, I don't know, I only heard now from you that the day before that, he could have found some faults in the house, so with this one, that one, and it got amplified, and he won't teach a lesson to someone and did it. But if someone had that ability, when the mind is focusing on these negative things, the faults, to teach them it's okay, people can do mistakes, and we can forgive and forget and move forward. If we can't live with someone, well, there is something called divorce. If there is a problem, well, every problem can be solved. We need to find the proper ways to solve it. We need to look for the answers. Instead of we doing those things, we just take the easy path to free ourselves from suffering. So if this is the way to free ourselves from suffering, we don't need a Buddha to appear in the world. Why a Buddha appears in the world is because of this. People get so deluded to the level they think they can find freedom from suffering and be happy by suiciding. When in fact you get into worse situations, worse suffering. So we are so deluded. So the only way to get out of this is developing the understanding, understanding about the life, the meaning of life, and how to find the proper good quality happiness. So we need to understand that, and also you need to understand that we have the tendency to indulge in these news and in any negative thing. So you need to teach the brain not to chew on them. So you have to hear the news. Okay, if you're into listening to news, now I've been advising a lot of people not to watch the news, not to listen to the news. What's the point? You can't keep your mind peaceful and calm and happy when you listen to this rubbish everywhere. It's loads and loads of rubbish they dump. Why you want to put your head on that? So they can dump a lot of rubbish. So wise people should avoid watching news. And what you heard today or yesterday you said is just one case. There is so many people suicide on a day. So this is why you need to help yourselves, help your children, help the future generations, so we might be able to make a change. So understand the tendencies of the mind and then work with them to overcome those tendencies. The answer is the understanding, and we need to be in the right path. So when you see these things, just know if we continue to walk in the wrong path, අර කැලේ ගියොත් අන්තිමට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒක දැකලා කම්පා වෙලා අයියෝ පව් කියලා, but very quickly you need to come back, rebounds to the present moment, and මෙව්වගෙන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ අපේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එක අපි ඉක්මනට කරගන්න ඕනේ මැරෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. ඒ වගේම we need to help the world. We can't just sit and mess around now. There's no time. I mean, in front of our eyes, people will start suiciding. Now, how many calls that I get, they feel like suiciding. So it's a very difficult position now. So only the monks or the nuns can't change the world. We have to live by example, and you all have to pick up your part too now. Learn the Dhamma and be content, be peaceful, be happy, and be the messenger of peace. So you can also join the peace army and go and help teach others. Otherwise, we can't save this world. So this is what it's telling you, that it's coming, the tsunami is coming to your doorstep. So don't wait until that. Actively practice and actively engage in teaching. Whether it's in the mini scale, starting with your children, your grandchildren, whether it's with your husband, wife, sisters, brothers, family members, friends, you need to. So first you need to ground yourself. Then only you'll be able to help others. So practice sincerely and break through to your sakkaya ditthi and come to the samyak drushti. Then you can start helping others. That's the need. It's a need of the hour. Because otherwise you will hear more and more and more of this news. Now it's in Australia. Next time it will be the next door. Next time it will be inside the house. I wish that it won't happen, but it will happen. No one thinks it will happen to us, but it will happen. So if you want to stop it, you need to act now, fast.
Bhikshuni Mahansi, thank you. I have got another question. Can I ask?
Before you go to that, I need to warn you about something now. After this vaccine, it is affecting, definitely. It is, I may be wrong, but it is my observation and my experience. It is affecting our nervous system. It's affecting our brain. And I'm seeing more and more people become very impulsive. They're losing their patience and they're becoming more selfish, more emotional. So it looks like it has an effect on shutting down more the right brain. And we go to that left brain, the gene mode. This is my observation. I may be wrong, but I have seen enough now, enough numbers for me to feel that there is an effect on people's thinking, behavior, and that they are becoming impulsive. So you need to be very careful when you all get impulsive, when you get, you know, very, you try to, when you get agitated, when you are emotional, just know that you need to take extra care now. You need to have your brake pedals. You need to have your foot on your brakes, because when you're aware of it, I think you can control. So you will see a lot more impulsive decisions being made and impulsive actions, and a lot of things that will lead to regret later. So at least you can make yourself aware of this, watch, then you will see whether what I'm saying is correct or not. If it's correct, take extra care. That's the only way to reverse it. You have to be a lot more, aware of the inside. You need to keep on doing the introspection, look into yourself within, and you need to practice the Dhamma more. You need to practice the selflessness, thinking of others and practicing the selflessness. Then there's little bit hope for grounding. Anyway, so that's just a side story for you. Yes, go ahead, Bhute.
So the question is, it is said that Mano Karma is the worst. How best to eliminate all these dvesha sitivili that crop up from time to time?
Good question. Now, there's two ways to fix it temporarily and to eradicate it from the root cause. Now, to eradicate it from the root cause, you need wisdom. It is by using the wisdom that when you see things as they are, you will understand, no need to get angry. But as long as there is no wisdom to understand the realities and about your senses, about the perceptions, about your rupa, vedana, sanya, sankara, vijnana, that activity, as long as you are not aware of them, it will just keep on happening and you will have value. You will have me, I am experiencing the world out there. You will have that dichotomy. So in order to solve this problem, you need to look into the who am I? You need to look into seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking, knowing. So when you penetrate, you will see how it is working in this paticca samuppanna way. When the proper causes and conditions come to be, this comes to be. When that is not, this is not, like that. It's just an activity that keeps on going with you having no control over. So when you don't have any control over this, because it's happening in the paticcasamuppanna way, it's called anicca. So because this activity, all what you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, that you think you know, everything, it's in the nature of anicca. Because it's anicca, it is very stressful. It is dukkha. So what is anicca, dukkha? There is no essence in it. There is no true value in it. There is no nothing to get hold of, hold on to. So there is no essence, or a self, or an atma, or anything like that. So it's anatta. So all our experiences are in the nature to anicca, dukkha, anatta. So that is the true nature. But if you don't see that, when you see that, you have learned. This is why it's important to learn the proper Dhamma first. When you see everything is in the nature to anicca, dukkha, anatta, you get another answer. Netam mama, neto hamasmi, neto attati. So this cannot all be mine. This is not me. This is not myself or the atta, soul. So when you see that, there's no need to get angry. There won't be any desire. There won't be any aversion. There won't, because you see, there is no static things here. You're not existing as as an entity. No, you see the world as an entity or a valuable thing that keeps on going. That is, permanent. You can't see that. You see the real characteristics in your experience. So you come to the conclusion that you cannot personalize these things. You can't say this is mine, this is me, this is myself, or this is Atma, like that. So when you see that, your world dissolves. In that understanding, the I and the world dissolve. So then there is no person to get angry. There's nothing to get angry at. This is how the wisdom will dissolve all that. Now, physiologically, if I explain how this happens inside the body is, there is this system called the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Sympathetic takes all the messages to do with I, me, and myself. And you think with I, me, myself, and all this self-centered thinking, it will activate the fight or flight reaction. That is stress. That brings the stress. There is the other pathway, the parasympathetic, that takes all the messages that has got nothing to do with I, me, myself. So any selfless thought is carried in the parasympathetic, and when the parasympathetic is activated, you relax. When you're relaxed, it's proven now in the Tick Hansen documentary, you show that neuroscientists saying when you're relaxed, what it does to your brain is it down regulates the stress response. It down regulates the activity of amygdala. So you have less chance of getting this angry, getting frustrated. So the hatred is minimized. More you live relaxedly, more less anger, more cool you will be, more calm you will be. So more calm means you will have a lot more stability in you. And more you practice this selflessness. Practicing the selflessness is called practicing metta, unconditional loving kindness. more the stress cycle will be down regulated, and more or less hatred you will have. That's what happens inside the body and the brain and the mind. So when you change your thought, it changes the brain, it changes the pathways, it changes the reactions, it changes the mood. So this is why you need to take care of at the thought level. So know that what brings the anger, Kama vitarka, Vyapada vitarka, Hinsa vitarka. These are the vitarkas, thoughts, pleasing, wanting to please the senses, thoughts of ill will, thoughts of cruelty. These are the types of thoughts that will bring emotions, that will upset you, that will, bring all this hatred, anger, and all that. So you need to learn to eradicate these thoughts. You just cannot get rid of ill thoughts if you have a lot of desires, if you have a lot of agenda, if you have a lot of expectations, if you have a lot of wanting to please your eyes and ears and nose and tongue and the body, you cannot down regulate your hatred because they go hand in hand. More expectations you have, a lot more desires you have, you're bound to get frustrated. You're bound for the failure because every desire you can't fulfill. And even if you fulfill some of your desires, you're not going to be happy the next day. You have to upgrade it. When you see something else, your mind goes to something else and you want another thing. So like that, it's like this monkey. Monkey can't settle in one place. They want to jump from this tree to that tree. Even in the tree, they can't stay. They have to jump from this branch to that branch every few minutes. The same way, our mind will not settle in one place. It's not happy. It is so disturbed, it only want to keep on changing the topics and the work and the agenda and business and everything. You have to keep on changing. Why? It doesn't know how to be happy with that. So, more desires you have, this is how busy you will be. And more desires you have, more frustration you will get. Because when you fulfill a desire, you don't get 100% satisfied satisfaction. After a while, you will be dissatisfied. When you have a desire and you can't get it done, straight away you will be frustrated and unhappy. So when you have a desire, whether you follow through and you try to fulfill it, you will fail. When you have a desire and you chase and you can't get it done, then utter frustration. So both ways, anyway, you will end up with frustration. That means hatred. So this is why Buddha says nekkhamma. Instead of developing the kama vitarka, you have to see the danger in this. It's like a snake. It will bite you anyway. Whether you fulfill it or you don't, both ways it will only bite you. So what you have to do is get rid of it. When you see a snake, what do? You don't play with it. You don't feed it with milk. Kiripuanne, sellang karanne. What you do is get rid of it. So you need to see this karma. TV බලන්නේ නාසාව, drama බලන්නේ නාසාව, game ගහන්නේ නාසාව, pornography බලන්නේ නාසාව, සින්දු අහන්න තියෙන ආසාව, පත්තරේ බලන්න තියෙන ආසාව, news බලන්න තියෙන ආසාව, රස කෑම මස් මාළු කන්න තියෙන ආසාව, තමුන්ට දිරවන්නේ නැති අගුණ කෑම කන්න තියෙන රසට තියෙන ආසාව, perfume දාන්න තියෙන ආසාව, makeup කරන්න තියෙන ආසාව, ඔය තියෙන තරමක් ඔය ආසාවල් ටික තියෙන. If you keep it and entertain, you are bound to get angry. You're bound to get sad. You're bound to get depressed. You're bound to get jealousy. ඒකයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. So you cannot really overcome this hatred problem when you have so much of these desires and you keep putting the fuel to it for it to grow instead of learning to manage them, get rid of them, pull it out. So Buddha says the kama vitarka should be turned into nekkhamma vitarka. Nekkhamma means let go, give it up, renounce. That's the way to control your anger. So you need to bring down your expectations, your desires, your karma. Wanting to indulge in the karma, you have to bring it down. You need to get this right. You cannot handle the hatred in the proper way. You can't bring it down without paying attention to your wantings, wanting to please your senses. Temporarily, you can handle the hatred with down regulating that responses. You can trick the brain with shifting it from self-centered thinking to a selfless thinking straight away, like may all beings be well and happy, and you just shift your focus and then it will bring calmness. But it's very temporary. How to do it in the proper way, you need to look into the root cause. How did this hatred come to be? It is starting from the karma vichara, from these desires. So desires are nasty, even though they look very innocent. My car, my petrol. So why not I go and please my senses the way I want? Why not I go and put Q-tex? Why don't I go and do makeup? Why not I go and, blah, blah, blah. They look very innocent, but this is where it will end up. So this is why Buddha said, look into the adina. කාම සුකල්ලුකානු යෝගෙ ගිහිල්ලා කවදාවත් සැප ලබන්න බෑ. People think it only happened in India during Buddha's time. People were engaging in Kama Sukallikana. No, you all are engaging in Kama Sukallikana. That's why this whole problem is. And we are not recognizing it. We think we are very innocent people, nice people. අපිට තණ්හාව නැහැ කීටි ඉන්නවා. එහෙම නෙමෙයි. We need to look into it the proper way. We have a lot of tanha. එකයි case එක. So if you can really practice it from here, the nekkhamma vitarka. If you can අටසිල් අරන් ඉන්න එක හරිම වැදගත් දෙයක්. To tackle these problems, one of the best things you can do is take the 8 precepts. 8 precepts is more about self-discipline, not allowing your mind to indulge in these sensual pleasures, cutting it off straight away. You will see when you do that, you will feel very relaxed, very calm, and you will hardly get angry. You will notice it for yourself, and then you will see this relationship. So the answer to that is that. So not just you have to practice the selflessness, practice the unconditional loving kindness and metta and all that, but you need to look into how you live, how you treat your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, the body and the mind. If you are not not using them to live a purposeful life or a meaningful life, and you order them and they follow you, but instead you become a slave to them and you do what they want, you give what they want. Every time when they ask, oh, let's go and see this, oh, let's buy that dress, oh, let's tint my hair this way, oh, let's go and do the Q-tex. Every time you give in and you become a slave to them, you can't control your hatred and cruelty. It will only escalate. But if you start to do this nekkhamma vitarka, if you start to interpret your circumstances, your thoughts, when you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and when you understand, when you see things, when you know things, if you can start interpreting them, if you can form thoughts with more of this renouncing this type of sensual indulgence, the thoughts about pleasing the senses, you can find success. You have more peace because your body will be relaxed. It will down regulate the stress cycle. You will have less hatred. So then when the hateful thoughts come, the ill thoughts come, you need to straight away practice reversing that. You can bring understanding to that situation. Why did that person did that? If I was in that situation, same education, same background, same circumstance, I may have done the same thing. And now you have to be very careful. Everyone having a vaccine and having an effect, their left brain, right brain is more imbalanced. So you have to have more loving kindness towards people who are traveling in the road with no brakes. So you have to take care for your own safety. And also when you see someone else is angry or when they're doing something wrong, they are blaming. And, when someone is angry, that is when we get also angry. So, for example, when you see someone is angry, you need to have the understanding that they are very stressed. They are oozing out with the suffering. So instead of we jumping at them, we have to really understand and have that, sympathy, and have the love and the kindness and the compassion to help them to ease their suffering, to ease their anger, not jumping on them. And we need to understand why they're angry is because they have so much of suffering and they are saying it out loud. That I'm suffering, I need help. That's what people say when they're angry. That is what's in between the lines. So if you're getting angry means you are a very poor soul too, very unhappy soul. You need a lot of help. You're not managing yourself. You're very unhappy. So now don't wait for the help to arrive. The Buddha is here, Dhamma is here, Sangha is here. You're getting the advice. You help yourself. The help had come to you. So you recognize this. Oh, okay, this is really bad. That I'm really unhappy. This is why it's happening to me. Why I've been selfish. I've been practicing self-centered thoughts. I better quickly change this. Then you quickly change. If you can change your thoughts from when you look into the situation, why you're angry, upset, frustrated, you will catch that fine thought, underlying thought. How did it all start? You will see your expectation. You will see your desire. That's why, because that desire was not met. You couldn't fulfill, or your expectation was not met. The other person didn't behave the way you want. This is why you got angry. So it's always to do with the tanha. Somewhere it was there. That's how this started. අර time bomb මෙතන තියලා පත්තු කරාම අතන පිපිරෙනවා වගේ. So you need to catch the thought and reverse it. විතක්ක සන්තාන සූත්‍රය කියලා දුන්නේ techniques පහක්. How to get rid of these negative thoughts, unwholesome thoughts. Practice that. And there is many sutras as how to overcome these negative thoughts. Because when you see the underlying thought, for sure the context is, it is to do with the kama vitarka, vyapada vitarka, hinsa vitarka. Guarantee. So Vitakka Santana Sutta teaches you as how to get rid of it. There is 5 suttas in Anguttara Nikaya in many, many places. One sutta that comes to my mind is Buddha says, this is in Anguttara Nikaya. Buddha says to look at it from loving kindness angle. From their angle, and then you have that metta, the self, from the selfless kind of way. You look at it and then develop that loving kindness, compassion, and have equanimity, and you deal with that. The other method is you give no notice. After you tried this love, the kindness, the compassion, and the equanimity, then you pay no attention to it, ignore it. Then the other one is Buddha says, think that it is their karma. When they do that, the bad result, they will have to bear it. How very. So when they are engaging in this bad karma, unwholesome karma, they will have to reap the results. Sometimes it can be even in hell realms that they may have to repay the price. How very. යාලා කරගන්න කර්මයට යාලටම ගෙවන්න වෙනවා. ඒ විදිහට හිතන්න. So there's 5 methods. Maitri සහගතව හිතන්න, කරුණාබරව හිතන්න, මධ්‍යස්ථව හිතන්න, ඒ ඔක්කොම කළා හරියන්නේ නැත්නම් මේක ඉග්නෝර් කරලා දාන්න විසඳන්නම බැරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නම් තමුන්ටම අදාළම නැති එකක් නම් ඒ ඔක්කොමත් හරියේ නැත්නම් හිතන්නේ ඒක එයා කරගන්න කර්ම එයාට ඵල දෙයි ඒක එයා ගෙන්නයි මම මේකට අත දාලා මමත් නැති කර්මයක් හදාගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කියලා එයාගේ කර්ම එයා ගෙන්නයි කියලා ඒ විදිහට හිතා. So like that there's many techniques depending on your situation. So what you have to do is when this is happening, you have to ground yourself in the present moment, know what's happening and use a proper appropriate technique. Either the samatha way or the vipassana way. Samatha way means move the calm in the mind. Vipassana way means going to the root cause of the problem and nipping it from the bud, uprooting it from the problem. Where, if possible, you can go down to the Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana level and Netam Mama Neto Hamasmi Neto Attat. If there is, if you can't personalize this, there is no one, no person, no self here, then you to get angry. So there's two ways to handle that. The Samatha way or the Vipassana. The purifying the mind or by developing the wisdom. Or you can utilize both. You can solve this problem. උත්තරේ හම්බුණාද ඒකට දිග වැඩි වුණාද මන්ද තේරුණාද
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, Bhikshuni Mahansa. Yes. Yes,
now are you all practicing? Am I talking and you listen and go and live the way you want, or you all have stopped some of the things that you do that is not helping you, that is not bringing you happiness, and that is damaging to the environment and to the others and to you? Have you all stopped the silly things, stupid things, nonsense that you've been doing to find happiness? Have you?
Yes, we have.
What have you done? Tell me.
We are now looking at whenever we have a desire, we try to control it.
Give it up to let go.
Yes.
Sadhu,
And,
sadhu, sadhu. So you got the point. This is how you come to the samyak drushti, because you need to get this point. These desires are the things that is killing you. That's what's bringing suffering. Samyak drushti means, dukkha means, how does this dukkha come to be? From this karma. And when you are not seeing through it and you don't penetrate to the reality, this is where you get caught up. This is how you really start creating the suffering and you have no way out. ඉතින් මේක මෙහෙම හරියට දකින්නකොට ඔය කෝණෙන් it's easy, your system will calm down, your brain will settle, the mood will settle, the hormones will settle. So more deeply you will be able to go down to the panchakanda level, and then you will be able to see each and every experience is killing us slowly. It's not good, it's like fire. ඉතින් මේ ඒක තේරුම් අරගත්තා නම් ලොකු දෙයක්. Very good. So what else do you all do? Anyone else? What else do you all do? What else do you put to practice? This is the theory class. The lab is at your home, at your work, where you live, where you have to do your practical. So you have to put it to practice in day-to-day life.
Yes, Bhikshuni Mahansa. Just like like the desires I mean, you identify the desires and trying hard to curb it, avoid it by any which way to not engage in it. Or if there are, of course, situations where we have to be part and parcel of an experience, then trying very hard to be mindful while engaging in those experiences.
So that means going to parties to make others happy.
Yes, that is right. To make others happy. That's right.
Now you need to learn somewhere. You have to start leading by example. Then only people will follow you. If we follow them and go and do the wrong thing, they will never even get a thought to think about what they are doing is right or wrong. So we need to put little bit of resistance and learn. When you go to, if you have to go to your parties, never mind. Go with a bold face. No makeup, no this, no that. Go charmly as possible. Be simple as possible. Then they will say, what's wrong with this person? No, no point. No, how can you get happiness with that? When I even if I have this all this makeup, I get angry and no happiness. If the makeup gave the happiness, I should be so happy. No, the anger can't come. That means then I have to pay a lot more attention and make up my anger. Do something to do with my anger. So I'm paying more time now to see myself and getting rid of these states that robs my happiness. So I have no time to do makeup and I have no money to do the makeup. Now I'm using it for worthy causes. So lead by example. Even if you go somewhere, make sure you become a messenger that carries the Dhamma. So put one seed in someone's mind, then they will start to think. Otherwise, it will never change. Nothing will change. Neither. If you're going, you may as well do something positive.
Actually, I think over the years and months, maybe, the pressure to participate in these things have minimized. Now, if, for example,
Thanks to Corona. Thanks to Corona.
that is, of course, true. Yes, that is also true. But I mean, I think it's a self-realization, Bhikshuni Mahansa, like something like you go partly because you also want to be present there. No? But if you decide you don't want to go, you
That's
realize nobody really misses you like that at the other end.
right.
Yes.
We went there to make ourselves happy, to show off, to share what we have. So that's right. Right. It's a good opportunity for you, this Corona. It has given a break, and now you all have understood. Staying home, you can be happy as, more happy than being in a party. Never.
Hey, Bhikshuni Mahansa. Similarly, I think with the corona, we also got affected by it. So that the movements get restricted. I mean, however much it's a big fight within to stay calm and fight in the sense, you realize the frustration that arises. Now, it's for no fault of yours, you get the COVID because it's all over the place. But that leads to all the discomforts and adjustments in your day-to-day life, which causes a lot of... ඔබ වහන්සේට යන්න තියෙනවා නේද 10:30 4 o'clock.
මේ විනාඩි 15කින් විතර වගේ එනවද එන? කොහොමද ඔතනින් එද්දි මෙහෙට එද්දි විනාඩි 15ක් විතර යයිනේ නේ? හරි පුතේ හරි. තෙරවසන්නයි සුපර්. Yeah. They are going to come, but I asked them to come a bit later. Man, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So, yes, when those frustrations arise, like you can't do what you want to do, there is also another realization, Bhikshuni Mahansa, we are attempting very hard, and you think you have come to some sort of a peaceful level, but when the anger, the jealousy, the frustration comes, it comes so fast. You realize when the tikak samahita vela yanava, the gap is still there.
That's right, because your brain is already wired in that way. But you been practicing indulging in the past, it's just there. Now you have to be very patient. And one way is to be mindful of it when it's happening and doing the opposite to, bring it down. And the other thing is, when you are, everything is okay, and when you are calm and all that, not getting busy, running here, running there, doing this, doing that, but practicing the things that will down regulate that stress reaction. So that is learning to relax properly, do some yoga, do some breathing exercises. And there is enough evidence that to show that the deep breathing, when you breathe in properly, even this pranayama techniques or the Wim Hof method, or even doing the, I won't call it anapanasati, but focusing on the breath and breathing in and out deeply, has a big effect on your system that can relax the system. So staying relaxed is very important. When you are relaxed, the connection is that it down regulates this stress reaction, your anger and all that. So you need to practice these things when you are okay, when the things are normal, in normal circumstances, in day-to-day work, day-to-day, when you spend your day-to-day, the time. So you have to do things that will help you to stay calm. That's why you have to practice the Dhamma. You have to incorporate it in your day-to-day life, not just when you get emotional. That will be all the time. Then you allow the fire to come up, and you have to all the time carry the water buckets and throw water at the fire. But if you are wise, what you will do is you will get rid of the causes and condition that will set fire. So there won't be any fire. So you don't have to run around and bring the water and put the water on the fire. තේරුණාද? හැමදාම ගින්නම නිම ඉන්න බෑනේ. ගිනි ගන්නේ නැති තැනට වැඩේ කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි විවේක අරගෙන තමුන්ගේ හිත දිහා බලලා අපේ නර්ව්ස් නිමෙන විදියට, කාම් වෙන විදියට ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි තියෙන්නේ බුද්ධානුස්සතිය, මෙත්තානුස්සතිය, අසුභානුස්සතිය, මරණානුස්සතිය, then සීලානුස්සති, චාගානුස්සති, දේවානුස්සති, and then there is this you can contemplate on anicca dukkha anatta, netam mama neto hamasmi neto attati, and like that. So when you're living your day-to-day life, you should practice these things, so they will really keep the system cool and calm. Got me?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, Bhikshuni Mahamsa. Thank you.
So is it worth me spending the time here? So some changes are happening.
Yes, Bhikshuni Mahamsa. Thank you.
Definitely. We are most grateful to you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Because whole point of your participating in this is for you to put this to practice. Otherwise, the whole Sri Lanka, everyone in Sri Lanka have heard the Dhamma, they listen to the Pirit, they do this, do that, they know Dhamma better than us. They can even teach us. But very emotional, very impulsive, very, that shows that they don't practice it, what they know. So that's very sad. So I hope my group is not like that. I have not personalized this, even though I said my group, but I hope you are not like that, that you're practicing it. So that's the best offering you can do to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Because Buddha took so much effort to become a Buddha. Buddha went through a lot of hardship, lot of hard times. He went through, we say in the normal language, hell to become a Buddha. He had to go through so much. Sara Sankalpa Lakshya Mululle Dukvinda. for us to help us so that we can live a good, comfortable life and live a meaningful life, and that we can escape this samsara. So the best way to repay, show our gratitude and repay to Lord Buddha is by practicing it and benefiting from this Dhamma. So, you can one day then you can help teach someone else. Because Buddha passed away saying, well, now I have my children, they will take care of the Dhamma, they will keep on teaching to others so the others also can benefit. So I don't have to live. So the Buddha left the body. So it's in your hands now. We have a duty to serve Buddha. You being serving your parents, your husband, your wife, your children, and even grandchildren, and even the siblings and the friends and the relatives throughout your day. But when are you going to take the turn to serve Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha? It has to be in your agenda. At this point of life, after this, I must dedicate my life for the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. You see, you share your things. Buddha is the one who dedicated the whole life, whole samsara to benefit us. We don't pay attention. We don't give 1 hour on a day to meditate, to listen to Dhamma. And we don't practice it. How cruel we are. How ungrateful we are. So you need to realize that the best way to pay respect to Buddha is by properly practicing this. Then we pay off our debt to Buddha. I hope you will take it to your heart. I'm not saying to become a monk or a nun, but you need to practice from where you are and start teaching. Not with ego, but leading by example, with wisdom.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhikshuni Hansa.
Okay.
I think we'll wrap up because you need to go somewhere as well, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So thank you again for dedicating
Okay.
your time and your wisdom and teaching us the Dhamma and encouraging us every single moment to practice the Dhamma. So we are much grateful to you for that. We wish you good health and all the blessings to achieve your supreme objective of achieving Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, sadhu, sadhu. So actually my heart goes to the family that's left, who is alive in that tragic situation. And if you all know, any one of you know them, please give my number and ask them to contact me, whoever is left, the wife or the parents or sisters or brothers or whoever is affected by that. I'm quite happy to help them, and my condolences goes to the remaining family. And unfortunately, we all will have to face this. This is the tragic thing. Not just that family, we all will. Just mark it on your diary. It's not that I'm cursing or I'm wishing that it will happen, but it will happen. How many suicides are being attending now? How many people I'm counseling, the left ones? So it's just coming to your doorstep. So we need to act fast. This is why I'm saying, just don't wait and sit around and do nothing, but please learn the Dhamma and act and lead by example. And please join the army, that the peace army, the happy army, so we can teach people how to find the happiness. If we can do that, if we can get this message fast, we can save many lives. So I hope, your heart goes and it affects you, but no point we letting this happen over and over and over. You need to be able to do something. You can't do something for the one who is gone, but you can do something for the ones who are alive now, the ones who are contemplating. We will be able to stop we can help many lives. So this is what you can do when you hear this type of news. You should take to your heart that one day I want to help this type of people, you know, before they do it, I want to intervene and I want to stop by sharing my goodness and wisdom. So they'll be touched and they will know how to solve their problems. So Mehenin Wahanse alone can't do it. Only few monks in the world, they can't do it. So we need you too. So let's do it together. That's the best thing we can do to help this world and to help people like that, and help the ones who are contemplating doing it, who are going to be the next. So much merits for joining, you know, dedicating your time when you had so many other good things to go and do, but you all chose to come and participate. So, and thank you very much for having that courage to listen to this and look at face to face, because it's not easy to listen to the real Dhamma, you know, because it's not really something that what you want to hear. It's not going to put your ego up, or it's not going to give you what you want. So when you come in contact with the real Dhamma, it's very difficult. It hits our ego, and sometimes it's not something what we want to hear. So it's easy for us to not to come to the Dhamma classes, not to come and learn. We can just go and do our own things. So thank you very much. Much merits for participating and learning and changing yourself and changing for better, and to helping this others and this world to be a better place. So much merit. I would like to share these merits that what we generated today with all of you. May all of you have the strength and the courage to practice, to change inside, to have a lot more peace and wisdom and happiness. And may you also be able to touch other people's hearts and minds and help them, guide them to live a better life in the right direction, so they all can find the proper happiness in their lives. And especially want to share merits with Sohani Putta for conducting this program and putting her time and resources and everything to benefit many. I also would like to share merits with all of you who joined today. So may all of you and your parents, your teachers, your partners, your children, your siblings, your grandchildren, your relatives, your friends, may all of you benefit from these teachings, from the merits that we generated today. May all of you find comfort, peace of mind, and happiness. May you all find good health and long life. And may you all find success in all good endeavors. And may all of your good aspirations come true. And one fine day, may you all be able to penetrate into the Four Noble Truths and develop the Samyak Drishti and practice, and soon find freedom from all kinds of physical and mental suffering, and experience the bliss of Nibbana, if possible, in this very life. May you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. And let's share these merits today, that what we generated today with that family, facing that tragedy, that father and the two children, and also anyone and everyone who can partake in these merits. Let's share these merits with them. Any departed friend or relative, Bhikkhuni Kusma Mehenin Wahanse, Bhante Punaji, and whoever could partake these merits, may they partake in these merits and find peace of mind and happiness from wherever they are. If they are in a bad state, may they find a good existence. And may these merits bring them causes and conditions for them to be born in a good place and be in touch with the Dhamma and find the final salvation and find freedom from samsara and attain the Nibbana. Also, let's share these merits with the Devas. May the Devas rejoice in these merits and may their happiness increase. And may they be able to experience the happiness for a long period of time. And as and when they wish to attain Nibbana, may these merits bring causes and conditions for them also to attain Nibbana. And also, let's share these merits with all beings. May all beings find freedom from suffering. And may they all attain Nibbana as soon as possible. So also let's make the aspiration that may all the merits that we generated today bring us not finding any causes and conditions to associate with the foolish and the wicked, but may these merits bring causes and conditions for us to find association with the wise and the good until we attain Nibbana, Kalyana Mitra Seva. And also let's make the aspiration that may all these merits that we generated today bring us closer to Nibbana. May these merits help us to penetrate into the Four Noble Truths and bring closer to the Nibbana. Okay, so may you all be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. May you all attain Nibbana as soon as possible. May you all be well and happy. Sukhi hotu, Theruvan Saranai, Abhivandana Silisa. Niccang Buddha Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vardampi Ayuvarno Sukhambalang Ayurarogi Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Niminate Samyajatu. Super.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.